Hello YouTube, this is Ryan Don't Like You coming in with another full senders only video. But before we start, let me just get this out of the way. The gameplay in the background is Dungeon Defenders 2. I know I'm not very good despite being max rank without prestiging. You don't have to tell me, I promise. I'm already fully aware of that. Now let's just get straight into the main topic of the video. My last video was also about Northern New York, which is, if you don't know, where I live and always have. Last video was about how to drive here, where I went over the necessity of owning a 7-foot lifted truck and shotgunning Busch Light while driving in the middle of the road. But this video is more about why Northern New York is dying, and here's what I mean by that. In the town that I live in, which is about 5 minutes from Watertown, if you want to like Google Images or Maps it or whatever, more people die or move away per year than are like born or move here. So it's like literally a dying, and it's for good reason. A lot of the people who actually die are like either elderly, which is a smaller percentage, or just straight addicted, like addicts, to probably like heroin or crack, which is like the most popular around these parts. But the people who like move away are the people I'm going to focus on, because I really wish I was one of them. Here's a couple reasons why people move from here. Number one is, again, the addicts. Nobody's trying to walk out their front door in the like 6 in the morning. You're on your way to work, then you got to kick 5 homeless people off your front porch, step over the 27 heroin needles on the sidewalk just to walk over to McDonald's to get your 15 an hour. Like, imagine where you live, okay? Now, I don't know where that is, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that mothers don't have to warn their children not to pick up the heroin needles and crack pipes while they're playing outside for the day. All right? And another thing, getting away from the addicts and that, like, number 2 is that there's literally nothing to do here, like, at all. The most fun thing to do around here is really, like, go to Walmart or the mall that has, like, 5 stores that are still open. Other things to do are like outside. There's like hiking trails, I guess, which is okay, but like the playground in my town is off limits to most people because gangs hang out there and people don't want to get jumped and robbed. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to go and hang out and then you get stabbed and your phone's gone and they took your J's. All right? And there's really nothing else that I can think of to do. And something else that kind of brings down the quality of life is everybody and their grandma are straight smoking as many cigarettes a day as they can, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a deal until you see an 11-year-old riding their bike down Main Street with a fat noopy in their mouth, puffing away down the road. It's just not a good look. And the last reason that it's dying here is just the poor living conditions. Most of the people, again, in the town that I live in are living below the poverty line and cannot or just will not work, causing every single other problem that I've already talked about to get worse. The addicts, everything, because nobody's got anything to do. So it's boring, there's a lot of drugs, and nobody has a job. So what is just not good. And not to mention, all of our tax dollars that we give to the almighty Governor Cuomo go straight to New York City. So all the roads and shit here are completely destroyed. And in the town that I live in, there's a small, like, town market. And if you live here, you probably will know exactly which one I'm talking about. It's right across the street from Drex. And there's a pothole right out front on this road. It's not in, like, their parking lot or anything. It's on the city-owned road. It's like if I got into it, it'd go up to my ankles. And that's like one of the smaller ones. Not to mention all the roads that are torn up to the point where they're their own speed bumps. Like on Francis Street in Carthage comes to mind. If you go on that road, it's like a big-ass bump. And there's just not like a single street sweeper or nothing. Like, these roads are paved, but some of them be looking like dirt roads. There's so much dirt on them. Abandoned buildings too. Towns and villages here don't have money to tear them down, so they just sit and decompose and really make dens for heroin addicts to gather like a herd of cattle until one of them ODs in the building and the fire department builds up the windows and doors, or boards them up, I mean. And something that's just really annoying, that really brings down my personal quality of life. It's like, really, it's an issue I'd assume in everywhere. Like, that's not like a small southern town or something, like, city areas. People riding longboards and skateboards and bikes and everything right in the middle of the road. What's up with that? Like, there's sidewalks. They're not very good. You can ride it off to the side of the road. Let me drive around you. I won't have a problem. But they'll ride right in the middle of the road, and then they'll, like, give you hand gestures when you're on their ass and laying on the horn because I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm in my car. Get your longboard out of the road. You're going, like, 2 miles an hour. Don't flip me off when I go by you doing 55 and a 30, all right? You should be a speed bump, honestly. And maybe that's why everyone around here owns a 6-foot lifted truck. It's so that way they can get good ground clearance over the longboarders, skirting down the road, flying through hills that have like, if there's a stop sign at the bottom of a hill, you best believe that every single person in the town is riding a bike down that hill and not stopping for that stop sign. And then when one of them gets run over because they blew a stop sign right in front of a giant truck, guess who's getting in trouble for that? Yeah, you guessed it. It's the truck, because pedestrians have the right of way no matter what in this state, which is just ridiculous. But anyway, don't move to northern New York. Don't move to New York, period. If you're going through New York, just steer clear of all of it. Roll up your windows and lock your doors, guys, because one crackhead or another will try to rob you with a butcher's knife that they found in the garbage that's all rusty and covered in like a cat's menstrual blood.